Oh, hello everybody, it's Megalithic here, otherwise known as Puglo Escobar, or at this time of year, Santa Paws, and sodding hell, bloody raccoon. Okay, well, today we're going to have a look at the Overflod Zeno, retailing at $2,820,000, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure you'll agree in terms of looks, it's cooler than skinny dipping in the Antarctic Ocean now, isn't it? Okay, let's take it out on the road and see how she handles now. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it is that holiday time of year. Happy holidays to you all, ladies and gentlemen. It's sort of Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, that sort of business. We are going to be showing the visuals of this test, ladies and gentlemen, in the snow, as you can see. But the review itself, ladies and gentlemen, will be based on primarily on dry conditions, without the snow. Okay, so what can one say? Well, in terms of acceleration, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it's less impressive than a peacock without a pisho, what can one say? In terms of handling, ladies and gentlemen, it's more likely to lose grip than a Hollywood celebrity after winning an Oscar, and just have a little look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a watch here, and oops, this is where I'm cartwheeling across the road, and now barrel rolling. How jolly good fun. Okie dokie. Never mind, ladies and gentlemen, like I say, I mean, that's one of the sort of bugbears of this particular vehicle. Of course, that was primarily because I landed on top of another vehicle, Okay, in terms of top speed, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it is good, in terms of it's sort of faster than the fall of the British Empire, to be quite frank with you, ladies and gentlemen. It is that traction, ladies and gentlemen, that is the problem, it does have a sort of tendency to, I mean, we're on the snow here, you understand, but speed, ladies and gentlemen, try to get around corners, will have a tendency to lose grip and therefore cost you time in any races or anything like that, so that's the main gripe that we have with this particular vehicle, Okay, I mean, other than that, ladies and gentlemen, the acceleration is pretty appalling, to be quite frank with you, but we'll get onto that later. Like I say, so good top speed, ladies and gentlemen, handling and acceleration is where this car is let down, and those are two rather important areas to be let down in terms of buying a car at $2.8 million, ladies and gentlemen. Either way, or sort of be that as it may, we have now completed the standard lap, or at least the initial lap, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to go ahead and take the vehicle into the custom auto shop. Now we're back here at the Maze Bank offices. Okay, so here we are, ladies and gentlemen, we're back at the office. We brought the vehicle into the custom auto shop, as I said we would indeed do, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, we will be going through this section of the video at double speed, just in order to hurry things along somewhat, but still to provide you, the viewer, with the opportunity of having a look at the different modifications that can be affected to this vehicle, should you then choose to go ahead and purchase it, Now, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, for the sake of brevity, we have got out certain performance-related modifications to this vehicle in terms of aesthetic styling. Not aesthetic styling, in terms of transmission, engine upgrade, that kind of business, ladies and gentlemen, turbo and such forth, but we are going to focus more on the aesthetic styling, just to give you an indication, as I say, what can be affected to this vehicle. Okay, all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, what can one say about the unmodified Overflod Zeno? Couldn't really tell you, ladies and gentlemen, only ever drove the unmodified version in the snow, and what can I tell you, slippy, but of course that's down to the snow. So yes, we're going to take it back on now, ladies and gentlemen. Now the standard lap will also be performed in the snow, don't you know? But the main test up at Sandy Shores will be in the dry, so you can sort of allay your fears on that particular issue, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We have now completed the modifications, and we're going to take the vehicle back out onto the street. Okay, so we've got two Overflod Xenons, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Raccoon's put it in a rather Christmassy green and red there. Myself, I could find it in a white, and we're going to take it out on the street and see how it handles. Okay, so what can one say, I mean, the simple truth is, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, in terms of acceleration, ladies and gentlemen, it's more disappointing than a Hollywood sequel 20 years after the original, in whatever particular franchise that may be. In terms of top speed, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it moves faster than a Western government moves to restrict citizens' liberties after the outbreak of a cough or cold, In terms of handling, I mean, it's about as average as an elephant's attempt to paint a picture using a chimpanzee as a paintbrush, don't you, And that's all I can really say about it. So yes, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, score sort of 1 out of 3 on our sort of initial test there. Good top speed, poor acceleration and handling. Okay, well, be that as it may, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to take on to the top speed test track. Now, you may well notice the top speed test track is in fact sort of dusted on a light layer of snow there, ladies and gentlemen, but as we've been able to work out, it doesn't really affect the time. 53, 54 is what we consider competitive. What can we get from the Zeno? And it's 50.455. So very good, ladies and gentlemen. That just place it as that just sort of peg it as a competitive vehicle, don't you know? Okay, well, being that as it may, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to find out actually how it stacks up in the real world. We are now up at Sandy Shores. We are on dry ground, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to see, as I say, how it stacks up against other vehicles. Now, the very first vehicle we're bringing out, ladies and gentlemen, is the Overflod Tyrant, retailing for $2,515,000. And as I'm sure you can see, ladies and gentlemen, yes, it doesn't stand a chance up against the Xenon. So, okay, not a bad start for the Xenon, ladies and gentlemen, but we're going to see where it goes from here. So the very next vehicle we're going to bring out, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to sort of be starting mid-range now, ladies and gentlemen, middle of the pack, so to speak. Now, this is the Ducati Vagner, retailing for $1,535,000, I do believe. Now, once upon a time, this was a very, very fine car, ladies and gentlemen. It is no longer, not that it's any worse to drive, but it has been superseded by so many other vehicles, you understand. Been driven currently by a Mr. Raccoon. His name is the Bromby, has a channel of his own. It is called the Bromby. I just have that into YouTube, so we don't find him when there's got some rather good videos on there. The Wagner, ladies and gentlemen, comes shockingly close to the Xenon, and that's not a good sign. Okay, so we're going back over to the Overflod, ladies and gentlemen, going back to the Overflod Auto, I've got no idea what it's called. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, it was the fastest of the Overflods, retailing of $1,955,000. Is a really very fine car, ladies and gentlemen. They're not competitive around the track in our opinion, you know. And with today's is losing the back end there, ladies and gentlemen, and the Overflod compass. The Auto compass. Now, yes, we did do these tests a number of times, ladies and gentlemen, and it is possible for the Xenon to take down the Auto Archer, but if you lose traction, as so often happens, that's going to be the result, you know. Okay, so now we're moving on to the True Fade. Don't you know this is the True Fade Nero, the True Fade Nero Custom, I should point out. The standard Nero, ladies and gentlemen, retails for $1,440,000. I can't remember how much it is for the upgrade, but it's going to take it up to around about the $2 million mark. Either way, both cars are broadly sort of comparable, ladies and gentlemen, not much between them, don't you know? And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so the Xenon can, it would appear, ladies and gentlemen, take down the Nero and the Nero Custom, ladies and gentlemen. It's very close, and for that sort of price difference, you may as well go and get yourself a Nero, in our opinion. Okay, so the very next vehicle we're going to bring out is going to be a Garotti, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Garotti Fiora, I do believe. A very, very fine car, in my opinion, you know. I'm a rather big Garotti fan there. Got two prices, $2 million or $2,740,000, depending on whether you do the Moody Man missions or not. You know, it's got a fantastic acceleration, as you saw there. And, you know, the Xenon's acceleration, I mean, it's sort of more underperforming than a drunk virgin at a whorehouse, ladies and gentlemen. But it's got the top speed, and that's what matters, and it's going to take it across the line first. So there we go. The Xenon does take down the Fiora. Okay, so there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what can I say? We're now going to bring it on to the what the hell is this? It's the Pegasi Ignis, ladies and gentlemen. No idea on the price. Done a video on it recently. Should know, but don't know. It's around about the $2.75 million mark, I do believe, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it's a fantastic car. It's got fantastic handling, unlike, unfortunately, the handling on this Xenon. Which is more likely to sort of kick out a French football in a frenzy, you know. Okay, so there we go. It loses to the Ignis, ladies and gentlemen, and that's pretty much an end of it. So, okay, you're out of the new car. Should you get yourself the Xenon or the Ignis? The Ignis is the answer there, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to start wrapping things up now. This is what we like to refer to as a serious contender, don't you know? For those of you who do not know, ladies and gentlemen, for the hoes at home, for the uninitiated, shall we say, this vehicle is what the bloody hell is it? It's the Benefactor Serrano, ladies and gentlemen, all the way back there. Find it hard to see. Can stand up against some interesting vehicles. On this occasion, ladies and gentlemen, it's bashed into the ground in a merciless way, and there we go. Okay, so the next vehicle we're going to bring out, ladies and gentlemen, this is the wrap-up. So, of course, it is Big Daddy Z, $725,000 purchases you the Pegasi Zentorno, an absolutely fantastic car, in our opinion, for the money, you understand. Now, it is a particularly fantastic vehicle, ladies and gentlemen. It's got fantastic acceleration. You can see there, it sort of did get off the line, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we do lose the back corner, the back end on the Xenon, which is the chief problem, as I say, with this car, but it has got the top-end speed. It's sort of, in fact, the top-end speed, ladies and gentlemen, there. I mean, it's faster than a flaming cheetah in free fall now, and let's be quite frank about these things. Okay, and here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the final masquerade. It is the Garotti Italia RSX. Don't you know what we uphold on this channel to be the finest car are on GTA Online for the time being. The Devastate can be damned as far as we're concerned. And we're going to see how it stacks up against a real supercar. And the answer is not particularly well, ladies and gentlemen. Not particularly well. Okay, so there we go. As could be expected or should be expected, ladies and gentlemen, from seeing the performance of the Wagner and the Zentorno there, ladies and gentlemen, the RSX absolutely demolishes the Zeno or the Zeno or whatever it's called. Okay, so is it worth it, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I mean, in terms of looks, you know, it's slicker than a seagull and an oil slick, isn't it? I mean, sort of more serious than a seismologist at a super volcano. But in terms of performance, ladies and gentlemen, yes, it really is underperforming. You know, it's not too bad if you can keep traction, but the moment you lose your grip, you're going to lose speed, and that's sodding hell, bloody raccoon. Yes, absolute wretched swine. Top speed's the only thing it's got going for it, and I'm going to shoot him now, I think, and there we go. Sodding hell, bloody raccoon. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.